Good morning, Grand Rising. Welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Riverman Bergeron. I come to you from the southwest coast of Maine in the United States. It's a beautiful sunny day. We've had a little uh, break in the cold weather, so we've been melting some ice and snow, which is much better than shoveling it. And I come to you every Friday at 10 a.m. with a message that um, comes through me in many different ways. This morning was by the pulling of a card, a Course in Miracles card, uh, which reads, having rests on giving and not getting. Interesting. Having rests on giving and not getting. And in the Course in Miracles, it says, you learn first that having rests on giving and not getting. Next, you learn that what you teach and what you want to learn, peace, is peace. How do we achieve peace within ourselves? We can't achieve what we don't seek. And that's what this morning's message is about, is what are we seeking? What do we have? What are we offering? Not only to each other, but to our ancestors, to our future generations. How can we look at ourselves a little differently and see within us that we have been taught and trained to do things in ways that are not compatible with human life? And while we call ourselves humans and we think we're doing wonderful things, we're actually creating more disturbance as you look around at the world than has been created for thousands of years. And none of us are aware of it at a level that we seem to seek to stop. And part of the problem as we look around the world today in our human relationships is really that we are being taught and have been taught for thousands of years that fear is powerful. And yes, fear is powerful, but it's not a pleasant or beneficial way to live life. It doesn't create kindness. It doesn't create compassion. It's a energy that is what I would call on the shadow side or the dark side. We need to have fear. We were designed to have fear in order to survive. And if we didn't have fear, we wouldn't know, or we wouldn't be able to determine what is best for us or what is not. However, when we create fear in others, and we know that we're creating fear in others in order to get them to do something or uh, get something from them, then we have gone backwards. It's a reverse evolutionary process. We've gone back to the survival mode of the jungles, of the dinosaurs. We become reptilian in many ways, whose only thought is their own personal survival. Humanity is much more than personal survival. Humanity is us, each one of us, in physical body, embracing each other in ways that are kind and compassionate. You may say, I'm a dreamer, and that's okay. But as we look around the world, we can really see that there's a real problem in our relationships with each other. I don't care what you read or what you look at or what's broadcast on your TV or your network. It's right in our faces. And what I'm noticing lately is that fear begets fear. And the more fear we can generate for others to tap into, the more distant they become from each other. It's a distancing. We put up shields, we put up walls, even in families. Many of you know in your own families the separation that is occurring. You can't get along with your own siblings or your parents. Differences of opinion. They're going to fight tooth and nail to be right. And it's not about being right or wrong. We're humans. We're here on planet Earth. Why can't we come together? Why have we chosen separation? So the question for us today is are we recognizing the fear within us and unknowingly sharing it with each other? We all experience fear. We all experience love. But why do we choose to express the fear more than the love? Why is it easier for us, many of us, not all of us, but many of us, and enough to create destruction, to express fearfulness by going in and becoming angry and fierce and wanting to harm each other, rather than going up and offering somebody some condolence or offering somebody some compassion and say, how can I help you? What do I have that I can help you through this tough time? This is where the shift is coming. This is what the new teachings are going to be, is how can we come together and help each other? How can we come together and offer each other something positive? Something for somebody to grab onto and say, I'm okay. I'm going to make it. All of us, many times, say, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I'm not the only one that says it. I'm not the only one that watches the world around me sort of collapsing. Like when I was a little boy, we had a section of Boston called the West End. And the West End was where most of the immigrants from other countries came and lived, other than they'd break into different groups. But this was sort of the jungle of many different nations of people, and they'd all have their little sections. And then when they went through urban renewal, they tore it all down. All those people were displaced. All those people whose lives brought them from their countries to America had nowhere to live. They had to be placed in other communities separate from their native country brothers and sisters. Fear. I could feel the fear as the buildings came down. I could feel the fear as I went through the empty buildings and the rubble and see the stuff that was left behind by people who lived there doing the best they could to just survive, having and giving. What can we say to each other when we see somebody in need and we have the opportunity to offer that person something and we turn away? No, we can't help everyone, but we can offer kindness. Kindness doesn't cost anything. This is not the world I'm talking about, the material world. It's the material world we live in. But kindness. Can we offer those people that had to move out of that area a welcoming into our own neighborhood? You can envision in your own lifetime people that you've met that have been needy or have maybe you've been needy. I know I have. I've been homeless. I lived in my car. I lived in a tent. I know what it feels like. And I know what it feels like to have everybody walk by and look at you and not offer anything. Each of us have to remember that having rests on giving and not getting. We can give to each other. And we have the abilities within us to change our focus, to change our focus on recognizing, excuse me, the fear that we have within us and seeing it in other people. And when we see that fear and recognize it, instead of just saying, oh, yeah, what can I do? Because within each of us, there is light and love that can help others transition through their fear. And I'm not talking about giving money or, I mean, it could be food, it could be anything, a smile, it could be a joke, it could be something, just some random act of kindness. Can I get the door for you? It's recognition. Can we recognize each other as ourselves? Can we see ourselves in each other? And can we love that self? When we see the part of ourselves in somebody else that we don't like, they are the gift to us. They are giving us a gift of being a mirror for us to look inside and say, am I really, do I say those things? Do I, and we can recognize that and say, I need to get rid of that. The future of all of us, excuse me, of all of humanity is going to come from kindness. And we have the abilities within us, within our hearts, to offer kindness to everyone. I'm not talking about the forms of kindness. I'm talking about the energy of kindness. I'm talking about the energy of compassion. A smile, simple smile. Even with your masks on, when you smile, your eyes squint. I find that when I smile at little babies and young children in the car with my mask on, they're less afraid of me than when I was doing it without my mask on. Interesting observation. Through our eyes, we can send love. It's what I'm doing now. See this smile? This smile comes from my heart, not from my head. I offer you love. I offer you compassion. I offer you understanding and diving deeper into yourself to remember who you truly are. Who you truly are is this amazing human being with the power to change the life of, what is it, 7.9 million people. 7.9 million people in this world. And they live under 257 ruling systems. 200, I think it's 257 countries. Some of them are not recognized as legitimate countries. So we have 259 social structures ruling 7.9 billion people. Think about that. What happens if just 1 billion of those people decide to, I'm just going to share love? I don't care what happens. I'm just going to love everybody. Just 1 billion. Do you think there'll be a change? Do you think there would be a shift in consciousness? Do you think there would be a trickle down to the 259 country rulers? And, you know, what we don't realize is the power of who we are within our hearts. Having and giving. Give what you have. And I'm not talking about material things. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about stuff. I'm talking about give people you. Be who you are. Not the one that lives in fear. Not the one that has been programmed to live in fear. And that's what we have to understand, is that it's easy for people to control somebody when they make them afraid. We learned that as little children. I remember my father saying, you want to cry? I'll give you something to cry about. And he'd take off his belt and he'd hit me with it, pull down my pants and hit me with it. I had something to cry about then, for sure. But there was no compassion. There was no understanding. These are the traumas that we live with from childhood. Not all of us had that experience. Some of us had worse. Control, punishment. Look around the world. Innocent people in prison, accused of crimes, their lives completely destroyed because nobody took the real time to find the truth. Nobody took the time to help these people when they were crying out. We're humans. We're a species of being here on planet that has far more power than we've ever been told. Our ancestors knew this. Our ancestors respected it. And I'm talking a long time ago ancestors. Find that ancestor in you. Find that being of light in you. Find that being of love in you. Find the worthiness in you. Giving from our hearts, one of my notes here is giving from our hearts creates a warm glow within us, like the candle that flares brighter and gives more light. It offers others to feel appreciated and being seen as worthy. Let's look at each other with thankfulness and gratefulness. And I know that's not going to be easy to do with everyone, but we have to begin to recognize that each one of us has the capacity to be just as obnoxious as the other person. And can we recognize that and learn the lesson from that, that that is not who we want to be? That is not who we truly are. And let's offer love and worthiness to the world. Make people feel worthy. And we do that by smiling, by offering them something, letting them cut in front of you in line. Simple, simple, simple things of respect, of just, I see you. I see you and I see that you have value or you're in stress and I can offer from my heart something to help you through that stress. We're all stressed. There isn't anybody who isn't, including those who live in their world of I rule the world. They just live in that stress. They feed on that stress. For them, they get high off that stress. That's what they've chosen. But that's not who they really are. They've created themselves to act and be like that. Other than the people who have definite uh, physiological problems. But that's not as many as you think it is. What we're doing now is trying to come back and reestablish our personal worthiness. How can I, when I go to bed at night, say, okay, here's what I could have done better. Or here is what I forgot to do. How can we say, I need to know more about myself and how I react and relate to other people, and to be more observant of that, not in judgment, but to look and say, oh, wow, I was a little short with that person. Where did that come from? And most of the time, it wasn't the other person. We had already programmed ourselves to be in that space for whatever reason. Let's become responsible for our gratefulness. Not responsible for the things we did wrong. We know when we do wrong. Nobody has to tell us. And if they do, listen and say, wow, I never thought, gee, I was just expressing myself. I'm sorry that you took it that way. Here's what I meant. These computers are the worst for this. Those chat boxes, I've had to speak to more people in person over what I wrote in a chat box because they read the words in a completely different um, manner. They felt disrespected or hurt, and and we all go through this, and this is what it is. It's human to human. That's what we need. More human to human. Even in this world of pandemia, smile, open the door, be kind, be compassionate. Because worthiness is not about objects, it's not about power. It's all about kindness. And having kindness for ourselves allows us to offer kindness to others. So just remember this having rests on giving and not getting. Know that we already have everything. We just have to go find it through all of the junk that's been thrown into our brain cells of how it should be and when it should be and why it should be. And trust our hearts. And yes, we're going to get hurt. There's going to be moments where there's going to be struggle and perhaps pain, and allow them to happen because they're part of life. When you cut your finger, it hurts. When you love somebody and they abandon you or slap you, it hurts. It's part of who we are to know that in the midst of all of this hurt, there is still this beautiful being, yourself. You are not all the things everybody told you you were. You are love, you are light, and you are peace. And when you leave this body, you will you will know that immediately because that's where we came from. We are creator beings. We came here to co-create with each other, not to separate and say, this is my pile of stuff and this is my pile of stuff. And I don't care what I damage in order to make that stuff. I'm going to destroy the planet because I have the brains to make the machine that can destroy the planet. Let's wake up. Let's wake up and realize that our hearts should be opened more. Move through the pain. Don't be so quick to shut it down. Know that you already have everything that you need. You came into this physical beingness with everything you needed and more than you can ever understand. Find that. It's in your heart, down beneath all of that damage and all of that garbage and all of that stuff that people have thrown at you your whole life. all the rules, all the regulations, all of the teachings, everything you've ever been pushed into your brain. It's not that this is wrong, it's not that this is bad, but it's not who you are. We're entering an age where our children are going to be programmed, or they're not going to be, they are being programmed to live in a virtual reality world. So not only will they be physically here, God knows what they'll be doing in their physicality, but they'll also be living, and some of them already are, in this make believe world where they'll be controlled again. It's going to look like they have freedom. They can do this and they can do that, but it's not. They're going to be controlled and directed. To what end? None of us know. It'll be to the end of the creators of those programs. Not to frighten anybody. This is reality. And it has nothing to do with worthiness. Worthiness isn't about material objects. Worthiness is not something that comes from things. It is held here in our hearts. And when we return to our hearts and allow the thoughts rise from our hearts rather than the other way, we will create more acts of kindness. Fear will dissipate, will be diminished. Our self-worthiness will be restored because love not only displaces fear, but it offers us gratefulness to share. So this week, think about how each of you might shift your inner awareness. Shift your inner awareness from wanting and having to how can I share who and what I am with others, and to make that transition that is truly needed for my joy to appear without struggle. Know that you have the joy already. And it will appear when you give it away. You'll see it. Holding it inside, yeah, you know it's there, but it doesn't do anything. Your joy, share your joy with the world. Laugh more, smile more. Stop this worrying and fearing that the end of the world is happening and all of this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can be happy, joyous, loving, kind, compassionate, and be able to offer it to others. Because it's in the giving. It's in the giving that we all come together. Not in the taking, not in the wanting. A gift is a gift. There's no expectations. There's no, I offer you this, but in return, I want this. It's the flow of love, of peace, and light, from our higher self through the brain into the heart, or through the heart and then into the brain, excuse me. And this is what we do. We reverse. Let's think from our hearts and then send it to the brain to figure out how to give it out. Love you. I thank you. I respect you. Bless you all for showing up and spending a little time with me every Friday morning or when you can. And know that we're in this together. We're in this together. And I just try to offer what comes to me because I know I'm you in a different form, a different shape, a different country. But we're all going through this as humanity. And the only way to go home to who we truly are is to let go of the fear. Because we've been taught to fear who we truly are. And when we awaken to that understanding, we're not going to go crazy. We're not going to go, oh, I'm going to fix everything. We're going to start a different relationship with each other. Instead of, there you go. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. One heart, one love. Blessings, everyone. We'll see you next Friday. And may the spirit within you always guide you. For it is in that spirit that you know having rests on giving. Love you all. Blessings. Be peace. See you next week.